And McKinnon. This is part 2 of my, boy, you could call this travel tips and hacks. Everyone, tips, tricks, and hacks for traveling with less liquids to make your TSA security experience less complicated and to make more room in your luggage. So I'm just going to go over some of the tips, things that I've used. So I don't bring sunscreen with me anymore. I used to, believe it or not, pack one of these full-size sprays. And so there are 2 alternatives to these. I don't have one with me, but there are solid sunscreens now. That would be something worth trying. Or you could go with what I do is I just don't bring sunscreen anymore. If I need it, I buy it at my destination and then leave it there, or I go without. And more often than not, nowadays I go without. I bring a hat with me, or I buy a hat at destination if I'm in a sunny place. But I'm not a big sun person, to be honest with you. I usually, I love the pool, I love spending time by the pool, but I almost always sit in the shade. And I've found that if I'm in the sun for brief periods of time, that it really doesn't hurt me, and I just go without. It's one of those things that I don't really feel like I need. And like I said, if I do, I just buy some where I'm at, or try the solid one. And there are solids available now. Next thing is I don't tend to bring bug spray anymore. Instead, I use these Buggy Bands. Now, these work pretty good. I bought this at a grocery store. These are good for children. The only thing is I find that I need at least 2 of these, one on a wrist and one on an ankle. And there are some that aren't so ugly. I mean, these are not the greatest, prettiest looking or most fashionable things, but they work pretty good. So that's another thing worth trying. Another thing that I don't take is any kind of shower gel. Instead, I use solid soaps. And there's a little bit of a strategy to the solid soap. So this is one that I buy on Etsy. That is, the #1 ingredient is coconut oil. So this is a soap that cleanses, but as you can see, it's really oily and it's very moisturizing. It does not strip the skin. Another option would be something like Zum. This is a Zum soap that I picked up at the grocery store. These are very inexpensive. These also are very gentle. So if you use this type of soap, it's good for both the face and the body. So you've killed 2 birds with 1 stone there. And then I also find that these are effective enough that I can use it for hand washing clothing items. And then they pack down really small. Another option, this is a little miniature soap container that I got on Amazon. This is one that I bought on Etsy. These are available everywhere. Just search for them online. The nice thing about this one that you might want to look for is it's got a tray in the bottom, right? And these trays help to keep the bars from getting soggy, help them stay dry for moving to multiple destinations. And so just a couple of different things to try, nice and small, alternatives to liquid soaps. The next thing that I have is fingernail polish. So what I do is I don't take fingernail polish with me when I travel. What I do is I apply a really neutral, this is one of my favorite ones, Sally Hansen Star Opal. I use one that has strengthening characteristics, and I'll put on 2 or 3 coats, and then as I'm traveling, I just let it chip and fall off and not look so good because it's a neutral and it doesn't really show. And so I can get by with letting my manicure get old and it won't make me embarrassed. I do that, either that or a clear coat. And that way you don't have to mess with your nails while you're traveling and you don't have to bring along that as a liquid. The next tip that I have is instead of bringing liquid lip, I literally will bring 2 lip products with me. And I will travel with these for up to 2 weeks. So this is a Burt's Bees, the smallest one I could find in my favorite color, which is apricot. This works just as good as any lipstick. It's a nice neutral color. Choose something that works good with all of your outfits. And believe it or not, you can travel with just one lip color. It is possible. And then this is just a uncolored soft lips. Love this peppermint one. It doesn't have, I'm not recommending these products specifically, but just kind of keep in mind minimalism and small size. The next product that I have is, instead of a liquid or spray deodorant, is to use a solid. Now, this is secret. This is the smallest travel size that I've ever found. This is a solid, does not have to go with your liquids. This will last me a good couple of weeks. For some reason, this size, this type is only sold with the regular full-size Secrets. It's not with the travel size, and I don't know why. Another thing that I recommend is, instead of bringing along a travel size mouthwash, they do sell mouthwash tablets now. I have not personally tried them. This is one of the things I tend to go without when I travel by air. But I am going to try those tablets, and of course they're not liquid. So, and you can travel with one of these as well. It's a nice small size, but it's something that you could definitely go without. The other thing that I go without completely when I travel is hairspray. This is a travel size. This is considered a liquid. It does have to go into your liquids container. Again, when I travel, I go minimalist, and I don't bring or wear any hairspray when I travel. And I know that that is a complication for some people, but I just go with a hairstyle that is minimalistic and that I really don't need hairspray for. I also don't bring any kind of mousse or hair gel. I don't use any hair products other than what I discussed in part 1, my leave-in conditioner. The other thing when I'm talking about hair, if you want the ultimate world-winning hair hack, is you go with a no shampoo method of washing your hair. I've been doing that for years, and I'm not here to push that at all, except for that I would say that it really works. Imagine never having to use shampoo ever, not to have to condition it, not to have to bring that around with you, and still have clean hair. So I will link to a blog that goes detail step by step through that process if you're interested. All right, next thing I am going to talk about is dry hair shampoo. So instead of bringing dry shampoo, bring a little bit of baby powder. This, basically, dry shampoo is powder. It's a spray powder. You can get away with just bringing a little bit of this, sprinkle it at the scalp where you're feeling a little oily, and then just brush it through your hair, and it works, and you will no longer have oily hair. I've gone, where my hair is really, really in need of a wash, and especially if there's hard water, this stuff works beautifully. Next thing I have for you is an alternative to liquid makeup. Now, when I travel, I don't bring any liquid makeup whatsoever. This is Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. I have another option that I don't like as well, but works as well. This is CoverGirl Face Powder. I'll give you a look. These are awfully big containers, and they're far bigger than anything I would travel with. So what I do instead is I have 2 different alternatives to show you for bringing powder makeup along. So both of these I purchased on Amazon, and both of them are made in China. Of course, isn't everything made in China? So this is a product where the powder is put under this little shield here, and then you've got an applicator here. And so it's a nice compact size, and it's kind of pretty. Isn't that nice? Even smaller is this one. This one is really cool. So you put the powder down here, screw that on, and then here is the applicator. So you can see where the powder comes through here in these little holes onto the applicator, and then you apply it to your face like that. I have found that this applicator works well enough that I don't need to bring a brush to further work it in, but that is another option. There are some really small makeup powder brushes that can be used that work quite well. When I travel, I don't bring any liquid makeup at all. It's just a little bit of face powder. I use really small blushes. I only bring one eyeshadow that comes in a really small little container, and that's it. So everything else I do without. I just go without, do without. These are my tips and tricks for traveling without liquids or with minimal liquids. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I will link to that blog post that goes step by step through the no poo, no shampoo, hair, which is water only, hair washing method. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.